hear me. I don't expect anyone to join this live. This is impromptu, but I just wanted to say something. Now, my godmother, she is my self-proclaimed godmother. I actually met her at an apartment building that I used to live in. I lived at this apartment building for like a few years, and then I left. But I still hang out with her. She is awesome. She's a very assertive woman and very knowledgeable. She worked in politics. She did a lot of things in her life, and I appreciate her. She has a lot of wisdom, and I love being around her, soaking up that wisdom, such as what happened today. So today, I was taking her to an appointment, and she was just telling me about her family, things that is happening in her life. And she said to me, I look more like my father, because she is more of a lighter skinned woman. She was like, I look more like my father, but on my mother's side, they're Indian, Blackfoot. And I said, well, where y'all from? She said, Georgia. And I said, it's crazy how online, not even crazy, but it's so revealing how online many people are coming out and talking about how they are learning that they come from Indian ancestry. So with my godmother, mind you, I guess at some point, the family mixed. So I think she has some Asian in her family as well. But that is more so on her father's side, which is where she gets more of her lighter complexion. But meanwhile, on her mother's side, I guess, which is more of the darker complexion of the family, it turns out that they are actually Indian on that side. And she did say they are from Georgia and that they are Blackfoot. So the point of this is, now for me, okay, mind you, my family is from Alabama. Um, I am still researching that because unfortunately I waited so late to learn about this stuff. Thank you, Dane Calloway, by the way. I waited so late to learn about this stuff that I ended up learning about this stuff so late that a lot of my elders in my family have now passed on. So I am going to have to do the footwork and actually do the research on my own, like doing my best to get the paperwork trail. And mind you, a lot of that information is probably in Alabama, whereas I'm not in Alabama, I'm up north. So it's going to be a challenge for me. But with that being said, I am going to do the work because I feel like the more I continue to learn and realize we have been lied to about who we are, and realize that and realize that I don't even know who I am. I come from what I do come from. My mother has told me, like, for example, my mother's grandfather had land in Alabama. They had a farm. They were raising animals and, their own food on the farm and things like that. So I know that much, but I still haven't done the footwork that Dane Calloway recommends in terms of learning where one comes from, and if you really do have excuse me, Indian ancestry, or if you come from Africa. All of a sudden my throat is acting crazy. But with that being said, my godmother really shocked me today, telling me, like, I mean, I promise you, I've known her for years now, and she told me, like, yeah, I'm from Georgia, and we're Indian on my mother's side, Blackfoot. So that really shocked me, and I'm loving seeing more of us do the research and learning who we really are, no matter what we are, no matter what. We are not taking America's word for it and just calling ourselves African. We are looking into our own ancestry, not sending in DNA, to some company or whatever. No, we're looking into our own family tree and really learning who and what we come from. So with that being said, this was a short live. Hello, everyone. This is a short live. But I just had to tell you all, like, yeah, this stuff is real. So again, it is someone on YouTube by the name of Dane Calloway, who is really a historian, who put me on to this kind of information and put me on to really researching who we are, and not taking this country's the America's word for it and saying that we're African, we're nothing else, we're just African, and that's what we're supposed to accept. And I have nothing against African people, nothing against anybody really, but I don't want anyone other than my family telling me who I am. And that is what this live is about. And again, I'm so happy that my godmother revealed this information to me, when in the midst of it, you will see people as dark skinned as me and darker on this land trying to tell people, like, hey, this is who I am. And meanwhile, you got people on this land got the nerves to open up their mouth and tell us, no, that's not who you are. How are you going to tell me who I am when my own family is telling me who I am and I have the documents to prove it? So anyway, that is it. I appreciate y'all, and I hope everyone has a great day. But yeah, I'm curious to know, have you all been doing your research in regards to how long your family has been here, where you're from? You know, do you have any Indian ancestry? Um, I'm just curious to know. Again, I'm still doing the research on my family, but I am learning our roots are in Alabama, which I already knew. My grandmother actually moved up north, which is the reason why I was born up north, because my grandmother moved up north. Prior to that, all of my family were in Alabama, and my grandfather. So it's interesting. It's interesting. So that is it. Everybody have a great day. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.